It's a street on the outskirts of Palmerston, which you can't yet find on any map. 6 months ago, there was nothing here, but now it's quickly filling with homes.
Yeah, our business would be 4 times what it was back 12 months ago. Back 12 months ago, it was sort of really looking for every sale that could come through to keep the doors open and ticking over. That's definitely turned around, complete opposite. 400% increase would be realistic about it.
The land rush in Darwin's outer suburbs started in the second half of last year, as governments offered tens of thousands of dollars in grants and interstate migration put pressure on rental prices. In Zicoli, it's led to more activity in 6 months than in the 3 years prior.
I think one of the biggest things is the home builders actually started to recognise that with the rising rent prices, that you could actually build a home for cheaper than renting.
For future residents like 24-year-old Tim Hudson, it's a chance to upgrade from a 1-bedroom rental to a 3-bedroom home of his own.
It's just having that barbie, on the weekends, having the backyard, put a pool in eventually, have a couple of dogs. It's the Aussie dream, really.
Treasury figures show building approvals in the NT are up 79% on February last year, but developers say there are many more people who wanted government grants, which close this month, who've now missed out because new blocks of land couldn't be titled fast enough. The government says that's the fault of developers, but builders say there needs to be better planning in place for new land supply.
We can understand the anxiety of people. I don't know the exact numbers of people, but they've actually committed to buying or getting a house built, and it might be in one of our new suburbs, but because the developers haven't completed the services to that, they can't get those blocks titled.
We've now got population growth starting to come through. We're in a great position. We fared really well with COVID. It's now the time to make the most of that and do it. Now, if we don't have the land available, we're not going to be able to support that.
The small suburban blocks in outer Palmerston and Darwin's north are filling with ground-level homes, and the government says there's still more than 3,000 potential blocks in the pipeline.
The new developments are a far cry from Darwin's older suburbs, where larger blocks are filled with open, elevated homes, often oriented to catch the predominant breeze. The trend away from this style of home has some worried that as climate change worsens the extremes of the top end's tropical weather, some new areas could become unlivable. One expert says it's time for the Planning Act to be reformed.
And the Northern Territory doesn't consider climate change in that piece of legislation, unlike other states and territories around Australia. So the impact that you see with that sort of stuff is that those sorts of design parameters of mitigating climate change are just not considered and included in the design.
But the builders say tropical homes come at a cost, and these new homes meet energy-efficient standards.
There's a bit of a misconception sometimes that we build these little Eskies boxes out there that are hot boxes, where it's in actual fact they're not as such.
Yeah, it comes back once again to affordability and budgets that first homeowners are working with.
The government has flagged changes to the Act.
I firmly believe that there is work to be done, and I'm apt to that work to make sure that we have domestic, so we have residential buildings that are better suited to our climate.
A balancing act playing out on the edges of Australia's most northern capital. Nicholas Hynes, ABC News.